What do you think about Brawl? I find the mode pretty boring. So I don't know the details in the data on Brawl. I will say that like I think it's kind of cool. So I've seen this a lot. Like people are like, Brawl is boring. Brawl, like you just do the same thing and then someone wins. But I think what you have to understand is like kind of like the goals and the intent of Brawl. Brawl is intended to be like this kind of like very casual, very low low competition to some degree game mode where you're basically just running around playing a character, doing some last hits, doing some team fights, things like that. Like it's a really good mode to just hop on, play with some buddies, yap, turn your brain off. And you might be like, isn't that ARAM? Well, ARAM has, I think, 2 issues. ARAM is still a great mode, but it has 2 issues. 3 actually, potentially. 1, ARAM is all random, which means you can't play the character you want. 2, it's only team fights in mid, which means a lot of characters don't function in ARAM the way they potentially can in Brawl, because Brawl has the ability to like go off into side areas, 1v1, jump over walls, things like that. And ARAM's like can be pretty long at the end of the day. It can go 20 to 30 minutes, right? And so I think Brawl, the space that it speaks to in League of Legends is like, what if you want to play like a simple casual mode for your with your friends, where there's not much of a time commitment or a competitive commitment, where you can pick the character you want, right? And like it hits all of those pretty well. And so if you're not having fun with Brawl, for starters, it might not just be for you. And then also, P.S., I don't know if the mode is perfect. Maybe it has some improvements to do. But I will say that I've been personally having a lot of fun with it. And like the way I've been playing Brawl, the way I see Brawl, is very similar to something like, say, I don't know, like maybe Spike Rush in Valorant, where like what you're doing is you just like, I want to play a silly character, have some fun with my friends, not really worry about the elo differences here, not really worry about, you know, if we're doing well or not. And just, you know, get some reps, play some characters, have them fight each other. And I think it's really, really good at that. And I've been having a really great time playing with it. And like, you might be mentioning like, well, what about Arena, right? And it's like, well, honestly, Arena is actually very different than Brawl. Arena is actually like a very highly competitive mode built for sweaty sweats. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say built for sweaty sweats, but like that appeals to sweaty sweats. That doesn't mean Arena isn't fun or casual or silly. Like obviously you can do some crazy random builds in Arena, but at the end of the day, Arena is highly, highly competitive. Whereas Brawl is like very much the opposite. It's a bit more like team deathmatch. It's like, did you die? Whatever. Did you win that fight? Whatever, right? And you could be like, well, that's boring. I want like my actions to matter. And they matter a little bit, right? But the point of Brawl is less about being like you had the perfect, most optimized competitive experience, and more about like me pick Morgana, me go kill jungle camp, me go mid, me have a team fight, me try that again, right? And so yeah, it's just a different like targeting in terms of like what type of League of Legends experience it's trying to offer. Now, all that said, is it perfect? I'm not sure. Like there's things to ask about it. It's like, hey, can it be metagamed, right? Like are people doing like weird things? The sadness of any type of mode like Brawl is like, does it get to the point where like, let's say literally only people pick Jinx and then never interact with people or whatever? I'm not sure. Another question I would ask is like, is its game length perfect? I don't know. I'm not saying this is true, but it's like, you know, it's around 10 minutes. Is it supposed to be around 12 minutes or 13 minutes? I don't know the answer there, but it's kind of a thing was like, what is the exact right short length that the game feels like it plays out in the right amount of time? Like I've heard a number of players like say that like one thing that can feel bad about Brawl is certain characters can't get to their like later game power spikes. Kind of like, you know, like can Kayle feel like Kayle? Can Yi feel like Yi? Things like that. And you know, how good is jungling compared to how good is going to the mid lane? Things like that. There's like some things worthwhile questions to ask about Brawl. But overall, I think personal opinion, that like Brawl does a pretty good job of just offering this fast, low craziness, what is the word I'm looking for? Low impact? Impact's not the word. What is the word for like when you screw up, it doesn't matter as much? Non-punishing? Less punishing. There we go. We'll go with that. Low stake. Yeah, stakes. There we go. Low stakes game mode. Because here's the thing that's rough about like League of Legends, right? It's like imagine you want like a casual game of Swift play or whatever in League of Legends, and you go in with your friends and your friend is really bad and they die 3 times. It's like, now you're behind, and that sucks. And that's a good thing in League, by the way, because like it turns out in League, when you win a fight, like you should have some sort of advantage. Surprise, right? Like that's good. But like, if you're just looking for like more like, I just want to play my character and try some things out and like have a little bit of a team fight simulator, the stakes, even in ARAM, can be a bit higher at the end of the day. And so I think Brawl just does this really good job of like providing like a low stakes, more deathmatchy, more brawly kind of feel. And so for what it's trying to do, I think it's doing it very well, and I've really, really enjoyed it. Like, it's been very fun for me to just jump into games with my friends of varying skill levels and just do a few Brawl games and not really worry if we're winning or losing, and more just worry about, you know, having some fights, having fun. And of course we're going to be like in Discord yapping and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, League, even with the ARAM, can be just a lot more competitive, a lot more sweaty, a lot more hardcore, which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's more just, you know, where can you find that lower stake place where you can pick a champion you want? And that's an important thing to note too, is like, not every mode that we make should be for everyone. If you think of League of Legends as like a catalog of things that offer different things to different people, like, you know, ranked versus Swift play versus ARAM versus Brawl versus Arena, right? Like, the ideal world is that you have a variety of things for different like needs and experiences. I'll reference Valorant again as a game that I think does this, I've found does this fairly well, in terms of like, they have their deathmatch, they have their ranked, they have their casual, and they also have Swift play and Spike Rush for like the extra casual and the extra short duration. And like, I think they do a good job of offering like a wide range of experiences depending on like what you're trying to opt into with your friends. And I think that's valuable. Doesn't Brawl incentivize people to start metagaming for catch-up or rebound mechanics when the tuning is so steep? I mean, it might, right? Like, there could be some exploits in Brawl that you can metagame for. Like, that's something to think about, right? But it's just like a question of how often it happens, how many people who are playing it actually are even trying to exploit it, right? Like, does it really matter if you're trying to exploit a 10-minute game mode where you care a little bit less about winning or losing, right? One thing that I think Brawl does, that I've liked playing Brawl, and again, I don't know if it's perfect, I haven't played enough of it, but one thing I've liked about Brawl is I've seen some people like complain about the catch-up mechanic. They're like, and if we get ahead, we get punished because the enemy team gets like 20% damage and 20% damage reduction. It's like, I get it. I understand how that can feel bad. But the thing I've liked about Brawl is just like, we go in, even if we're losing, we still get to play. And then usually by the end of the game, there's like a pretty tense like last 1 to 2 minutes where it's like, ooh, we better not die. Because if we die now, we just lose. And, you know, on the enemy team, it's like, hey, if we just kill them, we can end the game, right? And again, I haven't played a lot of it. I haven't played a ton of it, and I haven't played it like super high MMRs of it or things like that. But I would say that like I kind of like do enjoy the pacing of like Brawl's kind of like, you know, get in there, farm up. If you get behind, don't worry about it too much. You'll be able to catch up a bit. But if you are behind, there's still going to be that last 2 minutes of the game where you get put into this situation of if you die, the game's over. But if you don't die and kill them a few times, you can win. And like, I think that's like feels pretty good and is like pretty appropriate for like a game mode that lasts 10 minutes. So yeah, definitely a fan of it. Definitely a fan of it.